All right, thank you. So I was saying I don't really recognize that guy in the picture, but that's all right. um, so when I was asked to talk, I thought how much information we've been given over these last several weeks, past week in particular, and thought about my own experience. About 5 years ago, I was asked to not finally, but asked to teach online courses. And to be honest with you, it was, I did a lot of things wrong. And so I thought, here's an opportunity to kind of tell you guys where I've landed on things, and then some considerations with our students. So you can actually advance to, yeah. So you can advance one more slide, please. Thank you. And so the first thing I did was PowerPoint narrations. That's a very simple option. If you have PowerPoint slides, you can simply add a narration feature and talk over the top of them. After I did that, I wound up using Zoom to record my lectures. That was what I did next. And I have found that ConferZoom is a wonderful, wonderful option. What's worked best for me is a combination of using some type of writing tablet on top of whatever slides or software platform I'm using to present that material. What I have used for exams is Proctorio, and I'm not sure if we're going to stay with Proctorio. I've heard some rumors through all this, but so far it's been great. It gives me a lot of control over lockdown options, things like requiring them to show their testing environment, things of that sort. What web pages are they visiting during the exam? Am I going to allow them to? So I've appreciated the power of Proctorio. Next slide, please. And actually, you can go to the next slide right after this. That'd be great. So simple. This is the stuff that I use. I use a webcam, a microphone, and a writing tablet. And with those three instruments, I can create my lectures, and I try to post them. Next slide, please. I post them in small chunks. You may have a lecture class that you interact with for 40, 50 minutes, but a lot of the literature has suggested that if we give them the material in small chunks, it's much more digestible. I've heard a couple of presenters mention that. So whereas I might spend 40 minutes lecturing on a topic, 50 minutes, here they might have some, 10 or 15 minute chunks, and I try to break them down accordingly. I'll also try to make them interactive. I'm not afraid to tell them to pause the recording and just think. Whether or not they do it, I don't know, but I'm trying to interact as much as possible. My second point is to encourage some type of reflection. There's a reason that our students did not choose online courses. And in the math department, there's quite a bit of math anxiety, believe it or not. And now we're telling them, by the way, we need you to come out of your classroom and do this by yourself somewhere else. And so having them reflect on what they're learning, what they're doing is an important component. I make my online students do that, and I am strongly considering on this transition, making what were in-person classes do that as well. Very open-ended. Did any material surprise you? Is what I lead with, and I end with just something as simple as, is there anything you'd like me to know? It creates work. I respond to those on a one-on-one basis, but it helps build authentic relationships. And I think at the end of the day, the most learning takes place when we've built relationships, and it's through relationships that knowledge is not just transferred, but absorbed on their end, and that learning takes place. Finally, be personal whenever the opportunity presents itself. I'm not talking about being inappropriately personal or sharing things that shouldn't be shared, but there are moments with our students that we can connect with them. And as we've moved through this process, I'm kind of took a step back and realized, oh my gosh, I've been frantic for days. I need to be healthy for my own family. We need to be healthy for our families. We need to be healthy for our students. And it dawned on me, our students are going through the same thing. What they're also making this transition as they're handling things like, what am I gonna do with this childcare? Yeah, 9:35 was freed up in my schedule, but I was on campus. Now I'm at home with 3 kids. How does that work? And so in a time, you know, I always feel like we're juggling justice and grace. And in times like this, it would be great to really default to the grace and help them and let them know that we are walking along this journey with them. And that happens when we really invest in the relationship we have with our students. So I feel like I'm rambling a bit, but just to kind of succinctly wrap this up, I would like to just mention that that reflection component allows, and it's done confidentially, allows those relationships to be built that can really make a difference, especially in times like this. And then my last slide, finally, it just dawned on me that, you know, people come online and get married. So if they can get married, I think we might stand a chance having some learning going on. So that's all I got. And thank you.